When something terrible happens, be it a natural disaster, mass shooting, or something just as awful, the internet almost immediately is set ablaze with sincere postings of thoughts and prayers. And a lot of people find that distasteful. For some, that bad taste stems from a perception that the people able to make changes are quick to talk about doing the right thing and make a great show of how much they care, but in reality, don't do anything else. But for others, that bad taste could be from something much deeper, which in turn belies a greater existential angst. Think about it like this. If God really exists, where was he before disaster struck? It's obvious to pretty much everyone that whatever it is that happened is bad. God must know that as well. Why didn't he stop it? And since God didn't stop it, what good is prayer? Are you praying that it doesn't get worse? Or that the bad guys get caught? Or that you or your loved ones aren't affected or at least somehow survive? What exactly are you praying for? Doesn't that seem like a waste of time? But maybe prayer is about something else. Maybe your understanding of prayer, what it is and what it does, is off. Maybe prayer has nothing to do with praying for things. About 80% of Americans say they pray at least once a month, and most more than that. And they pray for pretty much everything. To be safe, healthy, rich, to find a job, to get to work on time, to vanquish their enemies. The list is virtually endless. And that's despite the fact that prayer doesn't seem to help. Most people aren't rich. They get hurt or stuck in traffic, or their internet goes down, or their team loses, or the person they're smitten with, for whatever reason, isn't smitten in return. It's as if life is a never-ending series of minor disappointments until the big one, something tragic, and ultimately death pulls the plug, finally, for good. Most prayers seemingly go unanswered. But that isn't the Jewish approach. In Jewish thought, and this is radical, God answers every prayer 100% of the time. No prayer is ever unanswered, ever. It's just that sometimes the answer is no. And therein lies the rub. Accepting no as a possible and legitimate response changes everything. It means that prayer isn't about asking for things, it's about something else. Conceptually speaking, if God really exists, and he really is as omnipotent and all-powerful as he's made out to be, then obviously, he already knows what you want. He knows that you want the crisis averted, or the situation to be better, or whatever it is, he knows your desires. He has the ability to deliver as well, to give you everything you want and more. That's what being omnipotent and all-powerful means. Yet when you pray, and God says no, is that because he's callous or cruel or ignoring you? Maybe. Or maybe it's something else. Maybe God's trying to tell you something. What's he trying to tell you? That's hard to say, but figuring that out and going through the process of praying, speaking out your longings and desires, and then processing and trying to understand God's response is ultimately the Jewish understanding of prayer. God isn't a genie granting wishes. Prayer is a conversation. It's consistent, regular exercise. It's expressing your hopes and dreams, and then comparing them to reality. And if your dreams aren't in sync with reality, why not? What seems to be the problem? What is God trying to tell you? How much are you willing to change, reflect, introspect, and grow in order to become the person you're capable of becoming? But the onus is on you. How well do you know yourself? And how much are you willing to learn? That's the essence of prayer. It's making sense of the world, making real commitments, taking action, and when you look at the big picture, accepting that your success and the person you become, as well as your response to whatever crisis is currently plaguing humanity, is ultimately on you.